The screen flickered to life, and there he was, Elon Musk, standing in front of a sleek, futuristic backdrop. His face was serious, but his eyes sparkled with that familiar glint of ambition. Barron leaned forward on the couch, his cereal bowl forgotten on the coffee table. "Hello, Earth," Elon began, his voice steady. "In exactly 24 hours, I will host the first-ever live stream from Mars." Barron's heart skipped a beat. Mars. The word echoed in his mind like a drumbeat. He glanced around the room, half expecting his parents to share his excitement, but his dad was scrolling through his phone, and his mom was folding laundry. "This is a historic moment," Elon continued, "a glimpse into the future of humanity. Tune in. Be part of history." The broadcast ended, and Barron sat frozen, his mind racing. Mars. Live stream. History. He grabbed his notebook and began scribbling ideas, questions he wanted answered, things he hoped to see. His parents didn't understand his obsession with space, but that didn't matter. This was his moment. As the sun set outside, Barron stared at the blank TV screen, imagining the red dust of Mars and the sound of Elon's voice echoing across the void. The next morning, Barron woke up early. The live stream was set to begin at 7 p.m., and he had a lot to do. He cleared his desk, setting up his laptop, a second monitor, and a pair of noise-canceling headphones. His notebook lay open, filled with sketches of rockets and Martian landscapes. "Barron, breakfast," his mom called from the kitchen. He hurried downstairs, grabbing a piece of toast before darting back to his room. His dad chuckled. "What's the rush, kid? Mars isn't going anywhere." Barron didn't respond. He couldn't explain the urgency he felt, the need to be ready. This wasn't just a live stream, it was a window into another world. By noon, he had tested his internet connection 3 times and rearranged his desk twice. He even made a sign that read "Mission Control" and taped it above his monitors. His parents peeked in occasionally, shaking their heads but smiling. As the hours ticked by, Barron's excitement grew. He imagined Elon standing on Mars, the red planet stretching out behind him. What would it look like? What would it sound like? At 6:55 p.m., Barron put on his headphones and adjusted his chair. The countdown on the screen read 5 minutes. His hands trembled as he clicked the refresh button. "Here we go," he whispered. The screen went black, then flickered to life. Barron held his breath. Elon Musk appeared, standing in a spacesuit, the visor of his helmet reflecting the Martian landscape. The sky was a dusty orange, and the ground was littered with rocks. Barron's eyes widened. It was real. "Hello," Elon's voice crackled through the speakers. "This is Mars." The words were slow, deliberate, as if each one had to travel millions of miles to reach Earth. Barron leaned closer, his nose almost touching the screen. Elon raised a hand, pointing to the horizon. "Behind me, you can see the Valles Marineris, the largest canyon in the solar system." The screen froze. Barron's heart sank. "No, no, no," he muttered, frantically refreshing the page. The image returned, but the audio was choppy. "The temperature is -80 degrees Fahrenheit." Barron scribbled notes, trying to piece together the fragments. He didn't want to miss a single detail. Suddenly, the screen went black again. Barron groaned, slumping in his chair. He stared at the loading icon, willing it to move. "Come on," he whispered. "Come on." The live stream returned, but the signal was worse than before. Elon's face pixelated, his voice breaking into unintelligible fragments. Barron clenched his fists, frustration bubbling up inside him. "Why is this happening?" he muttered. He glanced at the clock. Only 10 minutes had passed, but it felt like an eternity. The live stream was slipping through his fingers, and there was nothing he could do. Except maybe. Barron's eyes lit up. He had an idea. The live stream flickered back on, but the signal was worse than ever. Elon's face was a blur of pixels, his voice cutting in and out like a broken record. Atmosphere, thin, radiation. Barron groaned, slamming his fist on the desk. Why is this so slow? He muttered, glaring at the loading icon spinning endlessly in the corner of the screen. He grabbed his phone and opened a speed test app. His internet connection was fine, it wasn't his setup. The problem was on Mars. Barron, dinner, his mom called from downstairs. Not hungry, he shouted back, his eyes glued to the screen. He tried refreshing the page, closing and reopening the browser, even restarting his laptop. Nothing worked. The live stream stuttered, froze, and then cut out entirely. Barron slumped in his chair, defeated. He stared at the blank screen, his notebook open to a half-finished sketch of Elon on Mars. The excitement he'd felt earlier was slipping away, replaced by frustration and disappointment. His dad appeared in the doorway, holding a plate of spaghetti. "You okay, kid?" Barron shook his head. "It's not working. I'm missing everything." His dad set the plate on the desk and ruffled his hair. "It's just a live stream, Barron. There'll be others." But Barron knew this wasn't just any live stream. This was history. And he was missing it. Barron opened Twitter, hoping for updates. The hashtag Mars livestream was trending, but the tweets weren't what he expected. Elon Musk's Mars livestream is buffering more than my Wi-Fi during a storm face with tears of joy. Hello, this is loading. Mars has better content than Earth but worse internet. Priorities, Elon. Barron scrolled through the memes, a small smile tugging at his lips. At least he wasn't alone in his frustration. One tweet caught his eye, anyone else trying to hack the signal? This is torture. Barron's heart skipped a beat. Hack the signal? Could that actually work? He clicked on the profile. The user, at SpaceGeek99, had posted a thread about boosting weak signals using a homemade antenna. Barron's eyes widened as he read through the instructions. "Barron, you coming to bed?" his mom called from the hallway. "In a minute," he replied, already pulling up a new tab to research signal boosters. The live stream was still down, but Barron felt a spark of hope. If he could fix the signal, even just a little, he might not miss everything. He glanced at the clock. It was almost midnight. The live stream had been running for hours, but he'd barely seen anything. "I'm not giving up," he whispered, grabbing his notebook and a pen. Barron worked through the night, following at SpaceGeek99's instructions. By dawn, he had a makeshift antenna rigged up using an old satellite dish, a coat hanger, and a USB adapter. He plugged it into his laptop and held his breath as the live stream reloaded. The screen flickered, then stabilized. Elon's face came into focus, his voice clearer than before. "The soil samples indicate ancient water." Barron's heart raced. It was working. He adjusted the antenna, carefully angling it toward the window. The signal improved slightly, and the image became sharper. Elon was standing in front of a rover, holding a small rock. This could change everything. Barron leaned forward, his eyes wide. He didn't want to miss a single word. The live stream froze again, but this time, Barron was ready. He tweaked the antenna, and the signal returned. "Yes," he whispered, pumping his fist. For the first time in hours, he felt in control. The live stream wasn't perfect, but it was enough. Barron grabbed his notebook and began scribbling furiously, determined to capture every detail. The sun rose outside, casting a warm glow over his desk. Barron didn't notice. He was too busy making history. The live stream had been stable for nearly an hour, and Barron was fully immersed in Elon's narration. The red Martian landscape stretched out behind him, vast and alien, yet strangely beautiful. And here, Elon said, holding up a small, jagged rock, we've found evidence of ancient water. This could mean, life once existed, on Mars. Barron's pen froze mid-sentence. Life on Mars? His heart pounded as he stared at the screen, waiting for Elon to elaborate. But then the screen flickered. The audio cut out. The image froze on Elon's face, his mouth open mid-sentence. No! Barron shouted, jumping to his feet. He grabbed the antenna and adjusted it frantically, but the signal was gone. The screen went black, and the live stream ended abruptly. Barron sank back into his chair, his hands trembling. He had been so close. So close to hearing the most important part. He glanced at his notebook, filled with half-finished notes and sketches. It wasn't enough. He needed to know more. Then he remembered at SpaceGeek 99's thread. If he could boost the signal even further, maybe he could get it back. Barron rushed to his closet, pulling out an old router and a tangle of cables. He worked quickly, his hands moving with a confidence he didn't know he had. Come on, he muttered, connecting the cables and adjusting the antenna. He refreshed the live stream page, holding his breath. The screen flickered to life. Elon's face appeared, pixelated but clear enough to make out his expression. He was smiling. This discovery changes everything, Elon said, his voice crackling but audible. We're not alone, in the universe. Barron's eyes widened. He had done it. He had fixed the signal. The live stream continued, and Barron listened intently, scribbling notes as fast as he could. Elon explained the significance of the discovery, his voice filled with awe and excitement. Barron felt a surge of pride. He had made this possible. Without his antenna, he would have missed everything. His parents appeared in the doorway, drawn by the sound of Elon's voice. Barron, what's going on? His mom asked, her eyes wide. I fixed the signal, Barron said, grinning. Listen. Elon's voice filled the room. This is just the beginning. Mars holds secrets we've only begun to uncover. Barron's dad stepped closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. You did this? Barron nodded, his chest swelling with pride. That's amazing, kid, his dad said, smiling. For the first time, Barron felt like his parents understood. They saw his passion, his determination. They saw him. The live stream ended with Elon waving goodbye, the Martian landscape fading to black. Barron sat back, exhausted but exhilarated. I did it, he whispered. The next morning, Barron woke up to a flood of notifications. His tweet about fixing the signal had gone viral. At SpaceGeek 99 had replied, "You're a legend. Elon should hire you." Barron smiled, scrolling through the messages. People from all over the world were thanking him, sharing their excitement about the discovery. He opened his notebook, flipping through the pages filled with notes and sketches. It felt like a treasure trove, a piece of history he had helped preserve. His mom appeared in the doorway, holding a plate of pancakes. "You're famous," she said, smiling. Barron laughed. "Not famous. Just lucky." But he knew it wasn't just luck. It was hard work, determination, and a little bit of ingenuity. He spent the rest of the day reading articles about the live stream, reliving the moment when Elon had revealed the discovery. That night, as he lay in bed, Barron stared at the stars through his window. Mars was out there, waiting. And so was he. A week later, Barron received an email. The subject line made his heart stop, from Elon Musk. He opened it with trembling hands. "Dear Barron, I heard about what you did during the live stream. Your ingenuity and passion are exactly what we need in the next generation of explorers. Keep dreaming big. The stars are waiting." Elon. Barron read the email 3 times, his eyes filling with tears. He printed it out and pinned it above his desk, next to his Mission Control sign. That night, he sat at his desk, staring at the stars. Mars was just the beginning. There were other planets, other galaxies, other mysteries waiting to be solved. Barron opened his notebook and began writing. Dear Elon. Thank you for inspiring me. One day, I'll stand on Mars too. Barron. He hit send, then leaned back in his chair, a smile spreading across his face. The stars twinkled outside, silent but full of promise. Barron knew his journey was just beginning. And he was ready.